Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 18th through the 24th, and during that time we will have a last quarter moon, and that comes in on, on the 20th. And that could be a time of reflection, releasing what no longer serves us, just kind of preparing for new beginnings, getting ready for that new cycle that's about to come in. Then we'll move into the waning crescent. And it's also surrender, rest, and healing. And you're just kind of, wrapping up things to get ready for the new cycle as it comes in. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter this week, Aries. So, of course, please keep that in mind. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, your overall message for this reading this week, a new start is coming. So, yeah, we are all kind of getting ready for, that new cycle, kind of that second half of the month where you're kind of just wrapping things up, getting some work done, getting things going, and then just kind of winding it down as that new cycle approaches. And my weekly reminder would be that you notice the world around you today. Maybe this could be animals, repeating numbers, songs, conversations, anything, any sort of synchronicities that the universe is sending your way. Just try to kind of pay attention to those. Oh, losing jewelry here. And anyway, yeah, just watch for those synchronicities as the universe speaks to you. There's different things for different people. I know I see repeating number patterns a lot. Sometimes I just have this, just sometimes it's license plate. The other day I see 444 a lot. And I just had finished shopping, got into the car and looked, and there in front of me, I think it was two different cars, totally unrelated. Like the first part of the license plate was different on each car, but then it was 444 and then 6 on both of these. And I'm like, what are the odds? Anyway, so I tell you that just as, just those are little messages and clues to me that the universe is kind of like, hey, wake up, pay attention to what's going on. We've got cards flying here, Aries. But anyway, just my weekly reminder is to pay attention to those synchronicities and really think about what those things might mean to you on your unique path. All right, Aries, since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel. Lots of people have been doing it lately, and I really do appreciate that. So I will give you just a moment as I'm shuffling to do that right now before we get into the reading. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for helping me build a community here and coming back. I noticed I'm starting to recognize people, so that's really a nice feeling. So thank you so much. All right, Aries, overall energy for this reading. This card has already come out for us, so we will take it. Queen of Pentacles. So looks like you're sitting in an energy of just really understanding, just a good place of balance, understanding the world around you. With this one is when it comes to things like your finances or, your material world, how things work. And I always say when it comes to royalty, it's not only that you understand how that works for you, but you also have the ability to see how that works for those around you, like for your kingdom. So really, really nice energy there. Your current situation is the 9 of Swords here. So it looks like you've got some sort of anxiety creeping in about something, and we'll see as the cards come out what that might be for you. But a new start is coming, so it might be something that you're wrapping up. This is a 9. This is kind of us approaching the end of cycles. So this could be, the end of some stressful cycle, something that you've been going through. But, that's a really good indicator that stress is almost over. It's almost time to release that. At the root of your situation is another 9 with the 9 of Wands here. So yeah, something coming up that you're kind of at the end of something, Aries. And but hang in there, because you're getting to, again, we're coming up on that on the moon time this week of kind of release, and kind of, that means when you can release something, you have the ability to really gain like a little bit more clarity. It's some lesson that you've been in the midst of learning. We all do it. These are cycles that we all go through. So just hang in there is my message to you on that. In your recent past is the moon. So this could have been, this could be something that you've been working out in your subconscious, something that was kind of hidden from you, or something that was revealed to you recently. And so, because it's been revealed, it's some sort of revelation that it's stressful. You're looking back on your path behind you and thinking about, it's kind of like, why didn't I realize what that was? And sometimes those revelations just do come to us. But again, I will say a new start is coming. Hang in there. Let's push this card back so we have some room there. What is on your mind this week is the Six of Cups. So, Six of Cups is kind of our card of reminiscing. It's kind of enjoying the moment. This could be some indicator that there's something from your past that has either come to light, or something from your past that's going to help you get into a more positive mindset in your future. So think about that. What is it from your past that's having some sort of effect on things? Did it is this some, it's hard for me to even tell because it's on your mind, something that you're thinking about. It's hard for me to tell right now with the rest of the cards. For some of you, it could be that something from your past has come up and it's caused you some stress and anxiety, and you're kind of closing that chapter, or you've had that stress and anxiety, and something or someone from your past is coming in to help you through that chapter. So it could be different for different people. What is just ahead of you this week is the Empress card. So here you are after going through this, and like I said, we're at this, this waning crescent energy, which is really rest, relaxation, healing, surrender, just kind of letting go. It is what it is. You have to kind of accept that that is what it is. There's nothing that can be done about it. The only thing you have control over is you. And this Empress card is certainly one of, this is our card of love and pregnancy. And by pregnancy, I always say that it doesn't have to be physical pregnancy. It could be giving birth to a new way of being, a new you, a new, kind of turning that new leaf. So for some, of course, it can be actual pregnancy. So keep that in mind. You might be anxious about that. And if that happens, let me know in the comments. I always like to know when that's going on. It's a very hard card for me to catch. I've missed it before, but it's there. It's that's something that could be a thing for you. In your advice position, we've got the Three of Wands here. So, this is a card of travel, new ventures. It could be, kind of a trip to get rid of this crazy energy that's been coming up for you. It could be that there's some new venture, again, like this Empress card. Like I said, it's pregnancy, but it could be, giving birth to a new way of doing things, a new way of being. This could be some new venture that you're going to step into to kind of, as you come through this ending. That's always a new beginning, right? So it could be something that you're going to come upon that's going to be a new venture for you, and it's going to be something that's passionate and something that you can really, put your heart behind, your energy, but there's some sort of forward momentum in this entire reading, right? What is beyond your control this week is, a little bit of sadness over that here with the Five of Cups. So, of course, I always like to point out, you do have some cups knocked over. There's some sadness. There's some emotion running through this here. But also, you need to pay attention to the cups that are behind you. This is, the people that do have your back. They literally have your back in an emotional way. So you have that kind of support around you. Don't forget to turn around and acknowledge those people that are there to catch you and support you, while you're kind of really feeling the pain of those cups that have been knocked over for you. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is action on the material front. Now remember, when we started off here, we had the Queen of Pentacles, which tells me that you're kind of, again, remember, like I said, you're not only in a really good place of understanding your material world, but also the people around you. So are you avoiding some sort of financial action or material action, or is it your secret desire to have some sort of action in that area? And this could have something to do with this new venture. And because of the placement of that card, that's something that only you can answer. Only you can answer. Are you trying to avoid any action there, or is it your secret desire? So that'll be your big question for the week to ask. And if you're trying to avoid it, you need to kind of really think deeply upon why. And if it's something that you want, the same, you need to also think deeply upon why. So that's your big question for the week. In your outcome position, is more enjoying the fruits of your labor here with the Nine of Pentacles. And I will say that that puts us at 3 nines on the table. You are so close to the ending. And I'm going to go back to your overall message card. A new start is coming. You may not be there this week, but you're getting there. You've got these nines. If I saw some tens in here, I would say, oh, you're there, let's move on. But you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about new ventures and new ways to get out of the cycle, but you're just almost there. And you are at by the end of the week, you will be feeling better, I believe, and enjoying the fruits of your labor. That might be a little harder for you in the first part of the week. Some of this anxiety, sleepless nights, whatever this is that has gone on for you, is going to be a little bit stressful. And you're just going to have to work through that because better times are ahead of you, and an ending and a new beginning, is also ahead of you. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of tens in your reading next week. So come back next week and we'll see what is hidden from you this week is the King of Wands. So King of Wands is about knowledge about passion and the things that do drive you in the passion realm. This could be, things that just make you want to get up in the morning, and that's hidden from you this week. So there could be some passion, some idea, something that's going to come about for you. As you move into maybe those tens, like I said, next week, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of tens in your reading and to see things kind of wrapping up, but that's hidden from you. So keep that in mind. There's some sort of passion or something that's hidden that maybe you should kind of be kind of trying to seek out and maybe thinking about a little more. What is it that you're going to give birth to? What new way of being? And what thing that really just makes you happy to get up in the morning and to get rid of these anxious thoughts and let the cycle go, let it go behind you so that you have new positive things to look forward to. All right, let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aries, May 18th through 24th, as they head towards this new start, which is pretty exciting, I think. Live from your spirit is the first card. Let's get another one here. Do another shuffle. And live your soul, not a role. So it looks like you are kind of being called to, really look at the things. Like I said, this King of Wands is hidden from you. And it's almost like with these other two cards that you are being called to really look at your deeper way of being and deeper way of doing things. Like maybe even, on a more spiritual level. But and then the idea that I get is that you're trying to integrate that with your day-to-day life. So sometimes that's not always easy, and that is a challenge. But I feel like that's something that's a message for some of you that's trying some way that's trying to push you to do this, to really think about the things that you do every day. Are they within your spiritual goals and aspirations, right? So live from your spirit, live your soul, not a role. So make sure you're taking a look at those things. Also, because we had these recurring numbers with all of these, we had 3 nines pop up. I would go look at spirit number 999 and Aries, see if that has any other message there for you for the week. But I feel like even though you might have a little bit of stress this week, it looks like you're definitely moving into a more positive way of being, and you're going to get to a place by the end of the week where you can really enjoy the fruits of your labor and wait for this new thing to come about, this new start, which seems very, very exciting. So, Aries, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope there was something here that you can take away and use. If you're very comfortable sharing, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you might be going through. I do like to get that sort of feedback. I do post weekly readings, so come back next week. And again, we'll see if some of those 10 show up for you. If you're kind of wrapping the cycle up, or it might be a completely new, totally new thing that comes in for you. So also, I will ask again, if you like my reading style, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help my channel. I appreciate it so much. And most importantly, it'll help you find me next week. So thanks so much, Aries, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.